Hello friends, and welcome to my mini lecture series. Okay, and today we are going to study an interesting topic which is called as endosymbiotic theory, okay, or theory of symbiogenesis. Okay, and what does this theory say? So according to this theory, the mitochondria which are present were once upon a time bacteria, okay, or for that matter even chloroplasts were once upon a time bacteria. So right now the mitochondrion and the chloroplast which are present inside the cell, they are basically nothing but bacteria. That is what this theory says, and this theory is called as endosymbiotic theory or theory of symbiogenesis. Okay, so very interesting. So first of all, let us study the theory. Okay, now this theory, we are going to study whether this theory is realistic or not, okay, and what points are supporting this theory. Okay, so first of all, if you see both these organelles, okay, the mitochondrion and the chloroplast, now both these organelles which are present, they are quite different from the other organelles present inside the cell. For example, both these organelles are much more advanced compared to the other organelles in the cell. For example, both chloroplast and mitochondria, they have got their own DNA, they have got their own enzymes, they have got their own ribosomes. So it is like a specialized smaller cell present in a cell, because mitochondrion has DNA, chloroplast has DNA. So these are also called as semi autonomous organelles. That means they can manage on their own, they have their own genetic material, they have their own ribosomes, own enzymes. So why this theory? Okay, so if you look at the structure, basically, okay, the structures of both of them, okay, and all the evolutionary studies which have been done. So according to the evolutionary studies, the structure of the chloroplast and the structure of the mitochondrion, they basically resemble bacteria. Okay, so let me just make that comparison by just switching to the diagram. So you can see both the structures here, mitochondrion and chloroplast. Okay, so chloroplast obviously is present in the plant cell, mitochondrion is present both in plant and animal cell. So what the evolutionary studies or phylogenetic studies they say is that the structure of the mitochondrion, it resembles to the bacteria which are called as proteobacteria. Okay, so proteobacteria are a group of bacteria which cause a lot of diseases in human beings, and the structure of these proteobacteria and the mitochondrion is very similar. Again, coming to the chloroplast, the structure of the chloroplast is similar to the cyanobacteria. Okay, and cyanobacteria are basically your nitrogen fixing bacteria. So this is one of the points which suggests that okay, these two were bacteria at one point. Okay, what is another evidence which suggests that these two were bacteria at one point? See, both these organelles which are present, they normally undergo binary fission. See, if a cell has got all these organelles present, suppose if a cell wants to produce new ribosomes, then what it does is the nucleus gives the message to the cell and the cell will produce more ribosomes. But if a cell wants to produce new mitochondria, then the cell cannot produce new mitochondria on its own. What happens is the mitochondria will only increase in number when it itself undergoes binary fission. So both these organelles, mitochondrion and chloroplast, they divide only by binary fission, only when they themselves do it. It is not controlled by the cell. So they are autonomous that way. So that is the second point which kind of supports this theory of endosymbiosis, that both these undergo binary fission. So all these common points I'm going to write over here. Okay, the point is binary fission. Okay, and as you know, bacteria also undergo binary fission. I have already made a lecture on asexual reproduction in organisms. In that I have covered binary fission. It is a type of cell division in which one cell divides into two cells. Okay, the other point which supports this theory is there are proteins which are called as porins. Okay, and these porins are present on the outer membrane of the mitochondrion as well as the chloroplast, and also it is present on the bacteria. Okay, and what are porins? So porins are basically proteins which allow substances to transport through them. Okay, they are like channel proteins. So these proteins are only produced in mitochondria outer membrane, chloroplast outer membrane, and bacteria. So again, another point which suggests that mitochondria and chloroplast were bacteria at one point. So I'm going to write that down over here, presence of porins on the outer membrane. Then the third point is there is something called as cardiolipin. Okay, cardiolipin is a type of lipid or fat which is present on the inner membrane of the mitochondria. So I'm going to show that with a green color. So cardiolipin is basically lipids or fats which are present in the inner membrane of the mitochondria, and these cardiolipins are also present on some bacteria. So again, there is that connection over there. Cardiolipins are not present in chloroplast, so I will write that point over here. Okay, so that is already written. Okay, so that is there, and obviously over here I will write down last point is resemblance to this particular bacteria. Mitochondria resemble proteobacteria and chloroplast resemble cyanobacteria. But the question is, if mitochondria and chloroplast were bacteria at one time, then how come now they are present as organelles inside a cell, in the eukaryotic cell? So the discussion goes like this, that at one point when these organelles were bacteria, then what happened was that some eukaryotic cell must have eaten them or engulfed them. And what happened was, after engulfing these bacteria remained as a cell inside that eukaryotic cell. Okay, so whichever eukaryotic cell ate them, it did not digest them, it kept them alive, and that is why that relation is called as symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic means both the organisms help each other and they are alive, and that is symbiotic. So what happened was, mitochondria and chloroplast remain inside the cell. They helped the cell. For example, mitochondria produced ATP, it is the powerhouse of the cell. Chloroplast helps in photosynthesis. What happened to these organelles? They got nutrition from the cell, they got help from the cell. So then they behaved as parts of the cell, but initially they were bacteria. So that is why this theory is also called as endosymbiotic theory or theory of symbiogenesis, that bacteria, that is a prokaryotic cell, and a eukaryotic cell can live together, and these two organelles are best examples of that. Okay, so that is the discussion. Now it is up to you whether you believe this or not. I personally feel that there are enough conclusions and there are enough proofs for this matter to be in the open, that yes, it can be that these two were bacteria at one point. Okay, because of the similarities with bacteria, all the points we have written. Okay, and it can be possible. Plus both these organelles are semi-autonomous, that is they can almost survive on their own. So yes, maybe at one point of time they were bacteria. Okay, so that concludes our mini lecture, and if you like this video, please put down a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please push the subscribe button, or you can click on the icon to your right. Okay, thanks a lot.